All right. Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you might be in time and space. Kinneas here. Another noob flights. Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. Lesson 2, Attitudes and Instruments. The Fundamentals of Flight Management. You got to have a good attitude. Because things can go wrong at any second, and might as well and get used to being freaked out with a happy attitude. In this training, you learn about following: 1, airspeed indicator; 2, attitude indicator; 3, altimeter; 4, turn and slip indicator; 5, heading indicator; 6, variometer; 7, tachometer. Then it had something about stall speeds. Use the instrument camera to take a closer look at your instruments. 1, 2, airspeed indicator, attitude indicator, altimeter. Okay, how exciting.
Today we're talking about attitudes of flight.
That's our instructor, Jess Mel.
Relative to the horizon. If you look outside, you can see the cockpit is just about 4 inches below the horizon line. We're flying straight with a decent rate of speed. This is the cruise attitude. Let's see how it reads on your instruments.
Jess Mill wants us to hit Control 1.
Take a look at the attitude indicator. As the name implies, it shows your current attitude. The white line is the horizon, with the sky above and the ground below. That orange element in the middle, aligned with the horizon, that's your plane. Just like we saw outside, our current attitude reads pretty much straight and level. Okay, now let's see how much power the engine's generating. Check your tachometer. Looks like we're pushing around 2,300 revolutions per minute. Combined, attitude and engine RPMs translate to aircraft performance. Which leads us to your airspeed indicator. Now, last but not least, check your altimeter. To figure out your altitude, you always want to read the small needle first. That's how many thousands of feet up you are. Then on to the big needle for the hundreds. With our current attitude and power output, we're holding a speed of 90 knots and a stable altitude of 6,000 feet. But that's about to change. Take the stick when you're ready.
Hang on a second there, Jess Mel. Something you may have noticed or may not have noticed, but Jess Mel, instructor Jess Mel here, she's not giving us the proper commands. She told us to lock in with Control 1 over here. Then she said, okay, now switch over to the tachometer. She didn't put up how to switch over there. So I figured, well, maybe it was Control 2. Well, that's here. Control 3. Okay, we're on it. Control 4, I don't know, 5. Control 6, 7, 8. So back to Control 1. So she didn't hook us up with anything to help us there. And that's kind of mean, Instructor Jessmel. If you saw it and I didn't see it, then I'm a dummy. I'll do it again. Control spacebar resets your view.
Slightly on the yoke to raise the nose just above the horizon line. About 2 inches. Make sure you don't pitch up too much, or the angle will be too steep to create lift. And without enough lift, we'll stall.
All right.
Alright, go full throttle and start climbing. Welcome to the climb attitude. See how it shows up on your attitude indicator and tachometer? According to your altimeter,
All right, let go of the joystick. Got to move that hand. 23. I think we're kind of on it. So what was that? Control 4? No, that wasn't it. Control 3, 25, or 24.
Nice job. We're now set up with the same attitude and power we had at the top of our
Okay.
lesson.
Control space.
Next up is the descent attitude. Start by reducing your RPMs to 1800.
Okay, let's do that again. Control
Then drop
3.
the plane's nose a bit further below the horizon.
Come on.
As expected, with a nose down attitude, our altitude
Yeah, that's about 18.
well, our
Okay,
speed
control
is
space.
Why don't you get us back to a cruise attitude, and we'll hit the last part of our lesson.
So back to 23. Control 3. Back to 23.
There we go. Now that we know how to cruise,
Yeah, a little bit more.
let's talk about the turn attitude.
Okay. Let's do it.
Gently pull the yoke left or right to start rolling the plane. If you take a look outside, you can see how our attitudes changed, but you can also check your instruments for the details. As a general rule, you always want to keep your turns under 30 degrees.
Control 1.
At the top of your attitude indicator, there's a series of notches representing 10 degrees each.
We don't need those thinking notches.
Roll.
What? Oh, those notches.
Notice the more you turn, the more you need to pull back on the yoke to maintain altitude. When you're rolling out, you'll need to do the opposite. Roll and push at the same time.
Okay, folks, something else to note. It's super sensitive. You might have to go into your keyboard, or your controllers, and your joystick controllers and change the sensitivity.
Pass me the controls.
I'm sorry to talk over you, Instructor Jessmel. It's very, very, very sensitive. I'm using a fingertip on the joystick. So let me push back over. I'm just pushing with my fingertip. It is extreme, and I'm pushing about the middle of the joystick. I'm not even, leveraging it. Now there's just using the fingertip at the top of the joystick. So when it comes to practicing the steep turns, man, I have been hating life so much because I'm constantly trying to fight or just ham-fisting everything and making it way harder than it needs to be. Probably need some more power here. It crashes into the ground. But practicing, I think it just killed us. Yeah. So practicing steep turns was a pain in the butt. Anyway, thanks, Jessmel, and thanks for tuning in. And this new flight, what are we? Control space. Learning how to use Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 the way the defaults are set up over Sedona. I'll see you for the next lesson.